package some Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
I've been sitting on this one for a while. It's X-Men and Ghost Rider, Brood Trouble in the Big Easy. Have we ever done a comic book that's trying to do a title harder than this? Brood Trouble in the Big Easy. It's clearly trying to ape off of the meteoric success of the box office flop that was Big Trouble in Little China. What? There's so much we could unpack. Brood Trouble. Brood, big, get it, and you know there's brood in it.
Bad Trouble, I guess.
I guess, but like I know it's clearly trying to be a parody of that title.
Yeah.
But even then,
But it doesn't work because it's the Big Easy.
Yeah, right. It's Little China. And it's not even like they're aping off of the plot from Big Trouble in Little China. It's not even about that. It's just another Louisiana story written by Howard Mackey, damn it.
Are you? I don't know if they're trying to ape off of that.
What are they trying to say?
I don't know. I think that's just what they came up with.
There's no way that in 1993, these nerds making this comic book thought Brood Trouble in the Big Easy was an original title. There's absolutely no way.
What if they literally were just like, we're just describing the event. There's Brood Trouble in the Big Easy.
What is Brood Trouble?
It's trouble with the brood.
That's what you would say.
It's like car trouble.
Yeah.
Brood trouble.
Brood trouble.
Fine.
You just have to say it like very nonchalantly. Well, there's Brood Trouble in the Big Easy.
They do not want you to say it like that. I don't know how the hell you're supposed to say it, because I promise you, when they came up with this title, no one said it out loud. They wrote it down, somebody thought that was hilarious, and then it stayed there until print.
Maybe they're thinking it like a meteorologist would say it.
There's Brood Trouble in the Big Easy.
Yeah, while you're pointing at a map that's not there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we literally have a green screen here. We should be like, see, over here we have some Brood Trouble in the Big Easy. Headed down this way for you this
brood literally
weekend.
falling from the sky?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's like Sharknado.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a co-production between the X offices and the GR offices. I say GR because Wolverine refers to Ghost Rider as GR.
I like you calling it the GR offices, like it's not just Howard Mackey's house.
Book. I mean, it is. Yeah, the GR office is absolutely
I'm sorry,
Howard Mackey's
house? No. His family said you get one room.
Yeah.
He has the den.
Honestly, there must have been like a Ghost Rider-esque office. Like I was just thinking, because it wasn't just Ghost Rider, it was all of the Midnight Suns, Morbius, and the Night Stalkers, Blaze.
That
He's
hasn't
a night
happened.
staker.
That has not
Very
happened
different.
yet for this,
No.
right? Yeah.
It's
so
coming.
We're getting there.
It's coming fast.
Yeah.
And hard. So this is, again, Ghost
Why?
Rider office and the X-Men
No, this is like the
offices.
second episode. You've said that live here and you just gloss over it. I'm just staring into the void of like, did anyone else hear this?
Yeah.
I'm producing!
Of course, the X-Men books are written by Jim Lee, or at least he wrote the plots. Some of them are also written by Scott Lobdell, but the plot is all Jim Lee. Jim Lee is also getting finishes by Art Thibault, and the Ghost Rider office is all Howard Mackey, and Ron Wagner is doing the pencils.
Oh.
This is also taking place between X-Men number 8 and 9 and Ghost Rider, I think 26 and 27. We have 50% of those books on hand. The Ghost Rider ones.
I'm prepared! I came prepared with all the reading materials.
We actually need them, and here's why. So, I got a little overzealous. I was excited to talk about this. I was like, wait, we're doing a Tiffany and Ben episode. I know what book to pull. And so I read them in order. I was like, wait, I know I have the collection, which is not in print anymore.
It's right
but
here.
You can get it cheap anywhere online. And so I read them via Kindle or Comixology. I was like, oh, I'll just read the books in order. X-Men 8, Ghost Rider 26, X-Men 9, Ghost Rider 27. No problem. Read them, loved them, can't wait to get into it. Picked this up before shooting, only to realize this butchered, desperate collection that is chopping out all the unnecessary material. This is not X-Men 8 and 9 and Ghost Rider 26 and 27. It's just the parts of those issues that are about the Brood Trouble in the Big Easy. So this book opens towards the end of X-Men number 8. You can't even legally say that X-Men 8 is in this book. And it's also a crime because it's during the peak of Jim Lee drawing X-Men. There are no fewer than 3 different sticker or graphic outline depictions of X-Men characters that are just straight up images in the panels. Like, that is how iconic the Jim Lee art is for X-Men, and they cut it the heck out just so that they could have the meat and potatoes of Brood trouble in the Big Easy. Just drives me nuts. Opens in the middle of an effing scene where things are happening and they matter, but I will say, having read all of it, there's a lot of superfluous material. You know, the X-Men are dealing with some interesting and fun stuff that has nothing to do with Ghost Rider. And Ghost Rider is dealing with some stuff that has nothing to do with the X-Men or the Brood.
See, this is like a Lamborghini of a book. It comes at you fast and hard, but it's not really that comfortable.
I was going to say, do Lamborghinis, by definition, remove crucial elements of the car?
The comfort.
Okay. I feel like what's going on around Ghost Rider is kind of important if you're not a Ghost Rider reader, if you're picking this up.
You could use it.
Because if you're like, there's like a crucial component to Ghost Rider that is not happening right now for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Now that said, by the way, I've never read these.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the X-Men side of it.
So you're like, well,
I'm not going to read that. I'll just skip on past it.
No. I'm excited because as we have a self-professed Danny Ketch Ghost Rider fan on the couch,
I am a fan.
We can really get into the inner workings of where Ketch is at this point.
I am a fan, yeah.
I could have bought probably 7 iced honey buns from the 7-Eleven for that amount of money.
Yeah. If we're putting it into context for me as well, in 1993, I could have had 3 slices of pizza and a soda, at least, and have money left over for comic books.
There was a sexy lady.
That's Gambit.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, listen, there are a lot of sexy ladies in this story that are also 75% cut out of this collection because there's a lot of Rogue in X-Men 8 and 9. Because it didn't matter. It wasn't part of it.
Why are we even doing this book?
I know.
Well,
because I thought they were in it. So in order to gloss over the fact that this collection is nowhere,
that it's
and
garbage,
sucks, we're going to have to use digital technology in order to fill in the gaps. And that includes over on Kindle, or what formerly was Comixology, we have X-Men 8 and 9 digitally. Bishop has just joined the team.
Nice. Wow, wow.
Yeah, Bishop has come from the future, and he is there.
From the future.
Literally, like, Bishop's role in the X-Men is to be there. Now, he is,
I warn of things to come.
Yes, he's of course harbinging the X-Traitor, whom he thinks is Gambit, and because there is almost no time between the X-Men being depicted in the comic books and the X-Men being adapted into the animated series, they also didn't know who the X-Traitor was, and so they were like, well, Bishop doesn't like Gambit, so in the animated series, let's just make it Gambit, and then we'll reveal that it wasn't Gambit, but it was actually Mystique pretending to be Gambit, and then we'll never have anything to do with Bishop for the rest of our lives. That was that. So right now, Bishop is he's at the X-Mansion, and he is starstruck. He's already met a couple of X-Men, and they are responsible for introducing him to the rest of the X-Men. And so Storm is the leader, of course, of X-Men Gold, and she is responsible for integrating Bishop into the team. And Professor X is kind of like, how far have we come from where we were? Like, he's just kind of like, all right, Bishop, welcome to the team. But also like, what is this? So we're just letting on time travelers now? Like, you know, this is a far cry from where we were, but everything looks rad.
It's a time exchange program.
Yeah, exactly. Well, who do we send to the future?
Oh, no, we're sending ourselves into the future constantly.
That's right, that's true.
Day by day.
All the time. Yeah, well, eventually we'll catch up with you. And Bishop's like, no, you're not, because you're all going to die.
Yeah. Oops. Does he tell him that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, he's like really cavalier about their fates. Like
Good, you're supposed to be. Don't keep that shit to yourself.
No. Isn't that screwing everything up? Like, every single thing that he changes is now affecting how the outcome might actually be, unless you're doing it where it's like he already went back, so this is what happens anyway.
At this point, Cyclops and Jean have their time displaced daughter Rachel Summers, and she's also in the fray.
Yeah.
So they're like,
it happens.
He's from another timeline. Like, none of them take what he's saying seriously.
Okay.
Or at least maybe they did when he first showed up, but almost immediately after that, they're like, whatever.
Whatever. Back to our fun adventures.
Literally, there's a moment where he is freaking out about the future and about Gambit. And he's like, I have a vague idea that Gambit might be a problem. And then they suggest that they have a picnic. And he's like, are you out of your minds? I just told you that Gambit may be what will be referred to from now on until Onslaught, the X-Traitor. And you guys want to have, like, PB&Js out on the courtyard? Storm introduces Bishop, and everyone who's on the X-Men or X-Men Blue and Gold stand in a big, awesome page for a picture that no one's going to take, where Bishop just reacts to every member of the X-Men. You know, like, here's what I remember about you, or here's what I'm thinking about you right now. You know, like, Jean Grey, we've met already. Dr. Henry McCoy, aka Beast, will inevitably become a philosopher. He was a little off base on that one. Us here in the future. Gambit, you are a problem. And Jubilee, the last X-Man. And Jubilee is like, huh, cool.
Yeah, because she's a vampire. She'll live forever.
She's no longer a vampire now, but she will become one. But yeah, and obviously that's wrong because they'll get many more members of the X-Men from here to come. But obviously they're thinking, you know, this is kind of like the apex of what we're able to achieve. But also Jubilee is kind of like a fun character we're trying to push around. So Bishop is like, and so he immediately starts getting a bad vibe from Gambit and then just starts some shit. And Gambit's like, hey man, back off or I'll mess you up because I'm Gambit and I'm way more popular than you are. That's how everyone's measured in these books.
Our previously scheduled picnic?
Yes. They already set one up. And Bishop's like, no!
Well, Sal was literally not kidding about that. Like, sometimes it's like, you know, it's his
That's a little
interpretation of it, but like...
Bishop screams, picnic! I'm talking about
we do our best thinking on a full stomach.
That's Professor Charles Xavier for you right there.
To the lake, everyone!
So everyone puts on their swimsuits, and they go. What else is happening in X-Men in this time? Well, Betsy Braddock is in the body of Quanon, and they are both referred to as Psylocke. Cyclops wants her bad, and Psylocke wants him too. There's a moment where Psylocke comes out of the lake in an insane bathing suit, and
one might say it's not a bathing suit at all.
I mean, no, because she's wearing more clothes, I think, than Rogue.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, she's wearing more clothes than her normal bathing suit. Yeah, that's a crazy-ass bathing suit.
Yeah.
It has a neck strap.
Yeah.
But like a choker neck strap.
Yeah, that way it holds up, you know, the
ladies.
The coverage.
She's got to keep the ladies in there.
But Jean's trying to talk to Scott.
Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
Rogue's bathing suit?
No.
Her just being like,
well, she's all wet.
Is doing the...
Yeah, well, so Jean's trying to talk to Scott, and Scott is like, it's just shameless. And
Jean's in his ear, she's just like, I don't care.
Yeah, Jean is, right? Jean, for his troubles, she pushes him into the lake. Off panel, by the way. But that's it. She's just like, that's her reaction.
It is not quite her reaction.
She shoots him with telekinesis a little bit.
And she gives him a hard time because he says, Jean, and she's like, you remembered, I'm flattered.
She zaps him with telekinesis right in the armpit. She's trying to make him poop himself. That way he's unappealing to Psylocke.
As you know, of course, the urban legend is if you get socked in the armpit, you automatically poop yourself. I don't believe that's true, but I'm also never going to try it.
Yeah.
Great. Now I'm going to have to do this the whole episode. There's also a great moment between Cyclops and Psylocke later, when they're actually in the Brood trouble, and so we'll see that later on. But these are the X-Men stories. You know, Bishop's here. He's a wild card. Oh, Bishop's like,
we're at the lake. Knock it off.
Ready to go, baby. And Storm's like, maybe you should like dial it back a little, Bishop. And he's like, I can't. The future. That's it. So inevitably, Bishop and Gambit come to blows.
There she is.
That's not a bathing suit. Those are just Daisy Dukes.
Those are straight up Daisy Dukes.
Jesus.
She might be wearing less than Psylocke.
That's what I'm saying!
Yeah.
She is wearing a significantly less than Psylocke.
She is wearing a bandana over her breasts and half of a half pair of Daisy Dukes.
She would make Jessica Rabbit blush.
Absolutely. So anyway, Gambit and Rogue are having a picnic themselves. They're chatting it up. Obviously, there's some implications of romance. This is like the height of the will they, won't they.
Right.
Gambit and Rogue.
I guess she's like, well, no, I have to cover up when we're fighting so that I don't accidentally take someone's power.
Right.
So
But if I'm off the clock,
I'm gonna wear as little as I can.
Exactly. But I'm also going to tell Gambit like, hey, don't touch any of this or you'll die. It's like, come. So you want to kill Gambit? Is what you're saying?
All I'm saying is I'll put gloves on.
You know, Bishop, if you want to get rid of Gambit,
just let this happen or help him out.
Yeah.
Send her a couple of unsolicited flowers or,
Yeah, like be a wingman.
Play some Barry White. Just set the mood, Bishop, and that'll definitely take Gambit right off the table.
Oh no, all of the X condoms are gone.
Right? That's the X condom, of course, is made from Shi'ar technology. You put it on and it covers your entire body head to toe.
You can feel everything, but there's that micro layer
That's right, of protection, exactly.
What? Does that work?
No.
You're not happy with this pitch?
They don't need to do that.
No, they don't. Well, they do because they don't have there's no solution.
Yeah, but there will be.
Yeah, Bishop and Gambit immediately just get into a fight. And Gambit's like, all right, you've been asking for it, let's do this. And so they fight, and then eventually the fight is broken up. They get yet another unsolicited visitor to the lake, and it's Belladonna.
Oh no!
Gambit's wife. She appears and she's like, "Aha! No one's gonna kill Gambit but me!" She doesn't say it like that. She has a heavy accent. I'm not gonna replicate it. Moving on.
She's wearing the most clothing.
Yeah, she is more covered than any X-Man available right now.
She is more covered, but at the same time, there is still a see-through V-neck, deep V.
Right, but it is showing off more cloth.
Yeah, like she's wearing like a metal onesie.
Yeah. By the way, of course, this is an outfit that she wears as a member of the Assassin's Guild. Like, it's just like, you don't need to wear like a superhero costume if all you do is kill people.
Yeah, but it helps.
I guess. She also is a mutant and she has special powers.
Look, I can expense it.
That's true. I want to look like the rest of you. But she also doesn't have clearly defined powers, and they keep adding powers to her as she makes appearances. Thankfully, this is at least purportedly her last appearance in the entire series.
Belladonna has many powers.
That's right. Belladonna has many powers. So everyone's like, who the hell is Belladonna? And Gambit's like, I didn't tell you guys because I have a mysterious past, but I have a secret wife from New Orleans, and let me tell you all about it. And basically...
And Rogue's like, I'm sorry, you mean ex-wife, right?
Yes, and it is
well, no, because she should be his ex-wife.
Yes.
Well done.
I don't even know if they're legally married, because they're married between the Thieves and Assassins guilds. Like, it's not like it was legally binding.
I mean, there may not have been paperwork, but I'm willing to bet one of them was at least ordained.
Probably. You know, they're members of the Church of Life or whatever.
Yeah.
But the story is, of course, Romeo and Juliet. You know, there's these two warring factions in New Orleans, and it's the Thieves Guild and the Assassins Guild, and then the Gambit and Belladonna grew up together. When they were children, they loved each other even when they were kids, but then the clans decided to arrange the marriage between Remy and Belladonna, and that kind of like...
To like heal it?
Yes, to unify the clans and end the bad blood between them. We actually talked about this at length when we did our Howard Mackie Lee Weeks Gambit miniseries episode, but that was forever ago, and it doesn't matter. What matters is here we are, and for the context, they do get married, it was rocky, there were some problems.
And now they're estranged.
Well, because here's the thing. Belladonna's brother challenged Remy to a duel because it's like Romeo and Juliet, and Gambit slew her brother, and that reignited the bad blood between the clans, and so they were like, you have to be excommunicated from the clans in order to heal the wound that we healed already, but then you reopened through the actual cultural exchange we have already.
But that wasn't like his fault. Like,
no.
What if her brother was just like, no, I'm gonna challenge him for your honor, and I'll slap around a little bit, and Gambit's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy!
Brother dies, Gambit gets excommunicated, and Belladonna is like, boo! You left! Like Gambit was like, you mean if I leave, I'm single again? I'll do it for the family. So he leaves, and of course joins the X-Men. Not immediately, but you know. Anyway, so that's the story. And then Belladonna is like, I'm here to get you to come back because there's problems going on in the Thieves Guild and
in the
Assassins
Big
Guild.
Easy?
That's right. Where they're from.
Is there some sort of brood
trouble? There is, but they don't know about it.
Oh.
No, there is trouble.
Oh, what if it's that she's pregnant? That's the brood trouble.
No, thankfully it isn't. That would be a big problem. So the non-aggression pact that they refer to has been shattered, and as a result, Gambit has to go back and try to smooth it over, and he's going to bring his awesome, colorful, rowdy friends to go along with it. So the X-Men are like, cool, let's go!
Bishop's like,
Oh yeah, they leave Bishop behind, because he has a problem.
Hey, Bishop, you can guard the base.
That's right,
and
you jackass.
Charles? Is Charles there still?
He does not go, but he is there with them.
Yeah, so he's like, you can hang out with Charles.
Yeah, knock yourselves out.
I would love to hang out with Professor Xavier. I've heard many stories.
Yeah, maybe that will indicate to you that he is going crazy and might become Onslaught and destroy mutant kind, but no? Okay, fine.
Nah, Professor X just like time freezes him for the entire duration.
That's only in the movies! I hate that time freeze thing. Then to wrap it up and tie it in with Ghost Rider, there's like this cop down in New Orleans, and he is sitting in a speed trap, and a motorcycle drives by him, and he's like, oh yeah, not in my town. Goes and pulls over Ghost Rider.
As you do.
And Ghost Rider stops, and he's like, Is there a problem, officer?
I'm sorry, is his head on fire?
Oh yeah, no, he's full Ghost Rider.
Why did the cop try and pull him over?
Why did he stop? What's up?
I respect the law.
You don't even have a license or registration, man.
That's
Because
not true. I registered my bike.
with whom?
With hell.
I mean, you have to. So Ghost Rider leaves, and he's like, "Oh, I got trouble in Nolans," and he leaves, and you're like, "Okay, I guess I'll go pick up the next Ghost Rider," and so you do.
So in issue 25, Blackout finally kills Danny Ketch, but just Danny Ketch. That's
Right.
the catch.
Yeah, he's about
No,
to
that's
The
die.
Ketch.
The catch. Yeah, no, he dies, right? And
then Ghost Rider is just Ghost Rider.
right, Ghost Rider's like, "Oh no, brother!"
He's like, if I turn back into Danny, he could die. Like he's in like this limbo state essentially. So he's just Ghost Rider.
Wait, so there's 2?
Yeah, Danny is okay.
No.
Please explain the Danny situation.
What do you mean
because,
there's 2?
Like, is there it's like Shazam.
So, yeah, like they trade places?
No, his flesh melts off of him.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's always Danny, right?
No, the body becomes that. Presumably they should both be in there, but in this, because he died, his body, or his spirit has gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's like another spiritual dimension.
That's weird.
Inevitably, here it is. This issue is where he'll finally get back in there.
Right.
Issue 32. So that's how long.
Doctor Strange is cramming him. Get the fuck back in there.
Just get in there. You're causing too much crap.
Grab him off the astral plane and be like, "Arrgh!"
And
This
it's,
requires precision and tact.
by the way, like he's a surgeon. No, they take care of the whole thing.
He's a surgeon.
They fix it all up. Well, surgical precision.
Yeah.
No, they actually employ a surgeon to fix it. It's
Great.
It's very
a
interesting.
magic surgeon.
No,
I mean, Steve is one of those.
an actual surgeon. Because
Steve is a surgeon.
yeah, but
Not
his hands
anymore.
are busted. He can't do the surgery.
He does this pretty well.
Yeah, okay, so no, in that, if you want to know, like what happens is like Steve goes on an astral projects. They have to like protect them. Steve manages to get him back so like Ghost Rider can un-Ghost Ride and become Danny, but when that happens, he's still
wounded.
dying.
Yeah, exactly.
His neck is still like slashed open. So there's a surgeon waiting
Oh, to sew it
to
back
sew
up.
like they're like, okay, go! And like Strange uses like a stasis field to like hold them in place.
Okay.
And then like that way he can do it so Danny doesn't bleed out.
That's great.
And that's how they save Danny Ketch.
All right, cool.
By the way, this all happens because of this issue, which is easily one of my favorite issues of all time of Danny Ketch. It's the Glow in the Dark one. I have another version of this where there's another, Anyway.
This is one of the first glow in the dark.
It is one of the first Glow in the Dark ones. You can feel the texture on it. It glows quite well. I actually, like, my signed copy of this has a tiny Ghost Rider.
drawn
Drawn
by
by Mark
Texier.
Texier in the flames. So it's like a Ghost Rider, another Ghost Rider. This is the issue. We talked about this on the channel. This is the issue where Danny Ketch gets beaten up by girls and then pushed in trash and they steal his motorcycle. Such a good issue. The reason Blackout kills him is in this because Blackout is working for Death Watch and there's just so many unnecessary names that are after Danny Ketch and his motorcycle and all of that, right?
Do
And
people think the motorcycle gives him the power?
it does. It's the gas cap.
He has to touch the gas cap in order to become Ghost Rider.
Yeah, because he's not the same Ghost Rider, because he's not Zarathos, he's Noble Kale, but I don't know if they actually know that at this point. Blackout is like a demon, but like kind of he's got like vampire teeth.
He looks like
and
a
he bites a lot
vampire.
of people.
Yeah.
But like
He's not the one from the Ghost Rider movie, is he?
No, that's
No, that's
Black
Blackheart.
Heart.
Okay.
That's not to be confused with Blackout.
But the Black Heart in the movie sucks. The Black Heart in the comics sucks less.
Yeah.
He's more fun looking. Anyway.
I'm like, you just killed Danny Ketch. You're really mad at Danny Ketch because of the fact that Johnny Blaze shot you in the face on his
Yeah.
ass.
Well, because he
Yeah,
kicked my
because
ass. I'm not going to be able to beat him. I
Danny
can beat
Ketch
the other guy.
told him to,
That's true.
Yeah.
and he held me.
Nobody holds me.
Yeah, Danny Ketch got pushed in garbage and his motorcycle was stolen and then
Yeah, getting revenge against Danny Ketch is like, I don't know, getting up in the morning. It's not rocket science. So
I tied his bootlaces together.
So we go to New Orleans. Obviously, it's Mardi Gras because it's the only thing I can think of for New Orleans. At
I mean,
this point.
that's all it is in New Orleans.
That's right,
It's
it's
like
happening all the time.
365 Mardi Gras.
So we meet up with Bernard Lebranche. We don't need to know his name because he dies in the next page.
Why'd you tell us?
Because it's in the book. They just want you to know that because they're like, this is Bernard Lebranche. Check him out. He's a member of the Thieves Guild and he's got some jewels. And then a dude dressed all in black who seems to be otherworldly shows up and he's like, I'll kill you. And Lebranche is like, oh, you're an assassin. Now, obviously he's an assassin, he's here to kill him. But I mean like capital A assassin, member of the Assassin's Guild, my sworn enemy. I don't know how he knows that because none of the other assassins look like this guy, and presumably this is his first appearance. But
maybe he just always assumes.
I mean, LeBlanc must be he's this happens all the time. But we do have to deal with this guy, this would-be assassin or
actual assassin
because he is successful. Spoilers.
Name's Altair.
He is the resurrected brother of Belladonna.
Oh,
that's why he looks like a lizard man?
That's why he looks like a lizard man.
I failed to mention that the reason that Danny is going to New Orleans is because he's like, I know a guy who might be able to help me.
He does, and he finds him here.
I know a guy.
I know a guy, and I'm going there now.
Well, okay, Ghost Rider knows a guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know a guy?
Right. It's Blaze. He knows Blaze is going to New Orleans, so he's like, I'll go there and get him, and then he can solve my problem, which is that Danny's dying.
No, he can't.
That's why he's going. That's what's happening in this. It's great. So, anyway, we don't know that the brother of Belladonna, Gambit's brother-in-law, is the evil magic assassin lizard that's trying to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But we know it in the future, so here you go. Anyway, so he kills LeBlanc, and then he's like, "Oh, it's open season," and he kills him by stabbing him with his crazy demon hands. And you're like, "Oh man, he's a demon. Is he a Ghost Rider villain? No. Oh, there's Brood in this. Is he an alien? No. New thing, third thing." Okay.
Third thing that they're revealing in Ghost Rider as opposed to X-Men.
Well, no, he appears in Ghost Rider. They reveal it in the Gambit miniseries, also written by Howard Mackey, also set in New Orleans.
Okay.
The assassin stabs LeBlanc to death, and then his blood trickles down his hand, and he wipes it off on a newspaper that announces that 11 people have been murdered in the French Quarter already.
And then someone says, "What's black and white and red all over?"
Yeah, I mean, we might as well get that. But Ghost Rider is not funny, so he doesn't make those quips, but he absolutely should. But the point of that is that the blood gets on the paper flutters out the window, and then it slaps onto Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider's boot, and he's like, "Oh, innocent blood's been spilled. I gotta go get vengeance now."
Would you call that innocent?
Right?
Right. I know why they're doing this so he can follow a trail. I'm just surprised he didn't lick it.
I know. I'm shocked. I know. It's weird. I think it's because
we have to have smarter depictions of blood in this.
So Ghost Rider's like, all right, well, now I got two reasons to be here. One is to find the guy I know, and the other is to avenge this innocent blood that's been spilt. And so he's rolling through the Mardi Gras parade.
And everyone's like, wow, great costume.
They're throwing bees at him.
Literally, that happens.
Yeah.
They don't show them as their boobs, but they do. The Ghost Rider
They do throw beads at him. They go around his neck and they melt immediately.
Yeah, and they're like, oh man, you suck.
Show us your skeleton.
So Ghost Rider, he bumps into a dude in a skeleton costume, and the guy's like, great costume, and Ghost Rider's like,
that was the mask I was looking at. Okay.
So Ghost Rider is having an existential crisis because he's like, I can't change back into a man because the man is dead. I definitely can't change back. I just got a Ghost Rider all the time, and I'm like, why don't you? So while he is...
It's so hard to Ghost Ride 24/7.
It's true. So Ghost Rider is having a quandary, and meanwhile, in the other dimension, Danny Ketch is like, my wounds are healed. Maybe I'm dead. Well, let's see what else is there for me. And he goes towards this light.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. And that will continue to happen. That's it.
Okay.
So that's been fly Coach to Louisiana.
They fly Coach?
Yeah.
Not the Blackbird.
No, Forge is working on the Blackbird. Both of them. And so both of them are in a state of disrepair or upgrade. And so no one can use their special planes. And so they literally...
We'll take X-Mobile.
That's like the car.
Yeah.
There is no X-Mobile. There is cars registered in the names of members of the X-Men.
Yeah.
That's like Cyclops' car is the X-Mobile.
I was going to say, Cyclops has his car. Wolverine has a Jeep.
Right. So
everybody can pile in. We'll have a nice, carpool there.
Hang on, I freaking love this panel of them driving because Cyclops is just driving, wind in his hair, just with his arms crossed, just like a total asshole.
Yeah, he's just like, this sucks. Well,
I wanted to drive Beast.
Beast is like, never. First of all, I rented the car.
The insurance is in my name.
So they rented the car.
I didn't put another driver on it.
That's right.
You know how expensive that is?
So the X-Men get pulled over. And so they pull over.
I mean, like, only 2 of them were wearing seatbelts. That's fair.
Oh, I know. So the cop sees them and he's like, "Oh, you're a bunch of muties!" And so Wolverine, cuts the guy's gun in half, and then Cyclops is like, "We don't have time for this." So he shoots the tires for the patrol car, and then Gambit's like, "No, we have no time for this." And so he blows up the cop's car with his explosive cards because he's like, "Look, we need to get to where we need to go. Time is of the essence."
I do also love that they sent Belladonna and Rogue ahead because they can fly.
It's true. And Gambit is like sweating bullets about that because he's like, there's no way they're not talking about my dick. And of course they are. They later will reveal that they did have like a girl-to-girl, heart-to-heart, though it's odd because like they don't really have like a relationship. Like Belladonna and Rogue, it should be fun or dramatic, and it's neither.
Okay.
Like the only time those two interact is then, when they talk about how they're like, we had quite the conversation. So then Danny Ghost Rider arrives at the church where the assassin's base is.
Convenient.
Hallowed ground, Ghost Rider!
And so while he's outside the church, contemplating how he's going to make his dramatic entrance, the assassin makes his dramatic exit from the church, smashing through the window, killing another thief. He murders the thief, but as he's murdering the thief's wife jumps in and she attacks the assassin. And the assassin is like, "Oh, you are pregnant with the thief's child.
That's technically a thief.
I'll murder both of you." So he kills both of them. And then Ghost Rider's like, "Okay, now innocent blood is spilled, and now the assassin can lick the blood off of his fingertips."
Oh my god!
Now he's looking. See, it's for the stem cells.
Ghost Rider's like, "Oh, vengeance is mine," and so he attacks and chases the assassin.
I do love this version of Ghost Rider's like, I'm very about dotting
rules.
my I's and crossing my T's.
That's right.
Look,
That man-
innocent blood, that was the baby.
I was pretty sure there was innocent blood spilled. I felt it when it hit my boot, but now I just witnessed it. Now it's full go.
Yep,
I
gone.
definitely could have stopped you,
Oh, yeah.
but I had to wait
Right, until it happened.
until innocent blood was spilled.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not Ghost Rider, the person who stops innocent blood from being spilled.
That's right, no.
I couldn't be vengeancing anything then.
So Ghost Rider blasts through the door on his motorcycle. I love when Ghost Rider brings the bike places where the bike has no business being.
Yeah.
Like inside a church or going up the side of a building. So he blasts down there. He goes through the like facade of a church, goes down this conspicuously cavernous catacomb,
of course.
where he is met by the Assassin's Guild, and they're like, "Ho ho!" And the Assassin's like, "Get him, Assassins!" And they're like, "Let's go!" And they're like, "Yeah, he's gonna be a perfect vessel for her."
They are a lot of look. Like Lilith?
Oh yeah. They are not modeled after Lilith.
No. I'm just saying, are we talking about Lilith? Sorry, I
No.
just
Oh, yeah.
jumped.
They're
right.
referring to her. And I thought, like, ooh, is it that crazy tithe woman? No. Is it Lilith? No. It's the Brood Queen. Because all the assassins here are dead. They are puppeted by broods.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's why they're all wearing like hoods and masks.
No, it's because that's what they wear. That's what the assassins' outfits look like. And they are, by the way, expertly depicted in the animated series episode about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they?
Isn't it insane?
Yes. Is that something the Brood do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no. The Brood are xenomorphs.
Right. I thought they just hatched in people.
They do hatch in people and
how
take
they-
over.
Oh, I
No,
didn't know they
they're
took over.
psychic vampire alien xenomorphs.
Whoa,
They
okay.
attach to your soul
Okay.
or your mind. In this, it's both. But they
Why
attach
not
to your
both?
soul.
Oh wow, that is edited differently. Look at this. I have this ad and then page reveal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, there's no ad, and they removed so many crucial.
I know, but I'm
elements
just
from
saying,
the
like this
previous-
is a better experience. I'm like, oh no, it's the assassins. Oh no, wait, it's ever so much worse.
That's right. So the Brood appear, and yeah, they're
They
like,
don't just
"Ah."
appear. They appear in a way where you're like, how did you fit all of that under the mask?
Yeah, I know. Oh no, they grow out of the mask. Like, "Blah."
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get love.
They would turn into it.
But yeah, so the she they're referring to, or the her they're referring to, is the Brood Queen that lives in the former assassin's den. The Brood Queen set up shop in Nolans to kill/possess the thieves and assassins.
Oh, wait, if anyone sees me, I just look like a giant float.
Could you explain to me why?
Oh, because they taste good?
But like, why do they even need hosts?
They do taste good. It's all that Southern Creole cooking.
That's true. They taste good. And I just want to do it. That's what we do.
But like, then why would Ghost Rider be a good fit? Like
He's
clearly
powerful?
Because it'd be cool to say, oh no, you'll see why.
Okay.
I think you know from the cover of the next issue why. It's because we got to see a brutified Ghost Rider. That's why.
Wait, they can't latch onto his
that's
soul.
the cover
He doesn't have
of
a
this
soul.
Sure they
issue.
do. There's a guy in there named Danny Ketch.
Well, theoretically, well, I don't know if it's a soul, but like he does bond with Noble Kale.
Yes.
So like there is something that Danny is bonded with, and that's what's in there, and it has like a mind and like thoughts and feelings. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I like hearing Noble Kale because then all I think of is like an honorable
Lettuce.
iceberg.
and honorable Brussels sprouts.
Yes. So they're like, oh, cool, Ghost Rider, that's awesome. Because, like, remember, these are aliens. They don't deal with, like, demons and stuff. But the Brood Queen is like, I bet if we were to get your peanut butter in my chocolate, it would taste amazing. So let's do this.
Ooh,
so
okay,
like,
I don't like anything that was just said. It just made my brain conjure thoughts.
So they pin him down, and then the Brood Queen's like, I'm going to lay an egg in you. Here we go.
Wait, so she doesn't want him as a vessel?
No. She doesn't need a vessel. She's a queen. She makes eggs.
Oh.
But you're going to be a dope brood. Blech.
I guess everyone is technically a vessel for their queen since the queen lays the eggs in them.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. I thought they were getting a vessel for her.
No,
Like to go
no,
into.
no.
Oh,
She wants to make more broods that are powerful. That said, in the context of the story and up to this point, there's only been one survivor of the brood. If you are broodified, you're dead. You're a zombie.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just become them.
There's nothing left. There's nothing
Right.
to save. Wolverine was
Well,
a brood,
yeah.
and he healed, so it was okay.
Yeah.
There is only one other person that has
Deadpool?
been a brood and then came back from it, and it's Danny Ketch.
Oh. All right. Well, no. Well, yeah. Okay. Been a brood, because
In this.
in future stuff.
Oh yeah, and future stuff.
Yeah,
It doesn't count.
I realize now. I mean, obviously, because this was being written by Jim Lee, who was.
Well, the Ghost Rider stories are written by Howard Mack.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying because he wasn't plotting this.
There's no communication.
Well, I was gonna say like it's not like Cyclops took advantage of their road trip down to sit with Psylocke.
No, but we will see him interact with Psylocke later. And it's so suggestive.
Because like
it's
Jean
overt.
isn't here
That's
at all.
why he was upset. He was in the front seat, and Jubilee was in the back, stuck between Wolverine and Psylocke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was. He's like, damn it, I wanted to be really close to Psylocke.
But like, there's 6 of us in a car. There's no way I can bogart the back seat with just the 2 of us.
No. It's probably for the best, Scott. You wouldn't be able to hide your boner.
I mean, he probably could.
Oh, I disagree. He just pissed off a lot of people. So they arrive in New Orleans,
Look at
and
Beast like being like a guy. One of the guys.
there's a great moment. Beast is like, hey, Wolverine goes, because everyone smokes, and he's like, I love Mardi Gras. I'm like, Wolverine, really?
Beast is hanging out on the car because it's a cool 50s car. That's what you do.
Yeah, you're just like, ladies. Meanwhile, Wolverine's like, and I am way cooler than you are.
And I am 4'9".
So anyway, Rogue and Belladonna arrive, and they're like, hey, we had a real conversation about comparing notes on Gambit. Oh, so Gambit's like, get out of the way, Cyclops. I'm taking the lead on this one because it's my city, and it's my problem. It's my wife leading the charge. So they go, and they arrive at, like, the church where the one thief and his wife and child were murdered, and so they're like,
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, is this one of those things where like they're like, oh, Ghost Rider did it?
no.
Good.
No. They arrive at the church, they find these dead bodies, and then Wolverine goes, I smell 2 familiar scents. One is a massive problem, and the other
Is the Brood.
might help us. No.
And the other might run away.
And the other one is useless, but I did team up with him recently in a cool book called Heart of Darkness. Thankfully, Frank Castle isn't here, although I can imagine
He'd
the
be a
editors
bigger
being-
help.
Yeah, he'd be way more helpful than GR is in this one.
Yeah, he'd be the space marine to our aliens.
What a wasted opportunity. Although, we are trying to juggle like 9 characters right now. So, they all go into the church where they find more Brood, and they're like, ah!
It's got a gun.
Oh yeah, it does.
Actually, a lot of them have guns.
Yeah, what the hell? Well, because they're assassin broods. Can you imagine poor Ron Wagner getting the script? So then the assassin-possessed brood shoot at the X-Men. He's like, what?
With what?
What does that look
With
like?
the guns they had.
But are they brood or are they assassins? He's like, no, they're assassin broods. I'm going to draw broods holding assault rifles. So So they attack, and of course the broods can talk, by the way. And they're like, nah, we got you. And so we find out that, most of the assassins are dead. So Belladonna's upset, and Gambit's upset for her, and Gambit's cutting a swath through them with his exploding cards.
Most of the thieves are dead.
Yeah, but so are the assassins, because the assassins were possessed by broods, so they're dead too.
Oh.
Because they're explaining to Belladonna, like, oh, you don't deal with these guys on a regular basis. All your friends and family are dead. So then Gambit gets attacked, and he gets thrown across the room, and they're like, oh, geez. And Wolverine's like, this is bad. Because the guy I thought we were going to team up with, actually, he's a problem. Ghost Rider's a brood. And so Ghost Rider attacks them, led on by the Queen.
See, I was right. One's a big problem, the other's the brood.
Exactly. So Ghost Rider, and he will start to transform into a more brood-like appearance. Right now, it's kind of like he looks like Zarathos.
Yeah.
That's what Zarathos looks like?
He kind of does.
Right?
Huh.
Instead, what we're trying to understand is that, Ghost Rider is essentially a skeleton, but it needs to morph into a brood. So you're getting a brood made entirely of bones.
Oh, okay.
Except, the structure is still humanoid.
Right now it is, but it won't be for long. Or at least, it never really gets there. But he does grow a big bony tail. Ghost Rider attacks, and he's like, ah! And they're like, ah, geez. And Jubilee is like, can I join the New Warriors now? I'm like, I don't want to be here. I gotta get out of here.
I'm the first to die.
Why am I first? Why am I in the front of this group? I'm Jubilee.
You're like the least deadly out of everyone in this group right
What's
now.
that? I think I hear some beignets calling me.
So she leaves. No, so the X-Men spring into action to fight against the Brood, and Ghost Rider Brood.
Whoa, the coloring on that is so different.
Yeah, it's a disaster. Then they cropped it because they had to cut out the parts where Wolverine is talking and all this interesting thing.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
They
they did.
even cut off the top of what she's saying. It's just a disaster.
Oh my god.
Streamlined for your reading pleasure.
Enjoy!
I mean, that explains why the image looks so, they didn't even, rescan it necessarily. It just, oof.
Yeah, that's worth $7. Thank you,
So
Marvel.
you spent $5.
I sure did. And by the way, if you do get this online, it's like $30 because it's out of print. People
See?
are like, ooh!
You saved $2. Had you paid the full $7, you would have gotten it all.
Damn right. Yeah, no, I got this at a buck bin. This was marked as $5. I didn't pay $5. I think I may have paid $2.50.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Wolverine refers to the Broods as sleazoids no fewer than 3 times. He says it so many times that Belladonna, who has a very distinct way of talking, towards the end of the story, just instinctively starts calling them sleazoids.
I was like, just shut up, Wolverine.
She does not give him a hard time, but she does adopt his vernacular because she refers to Brood as sleazoids. Now,
They're trying to coin the term much like graboids from Tremors.
is that, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I think it's because, now you could argue that maybe it's just because it's bad writing and I forgot who was talking in this particular panel. I think it's because Wolverine has been saying it so many times it's just catching. Everyone's saying it. It's like an earworm now.
Hey, look, she's focusing the totality of her powers.
She does that twice.
I can see it happening.
Psylocke does that in every book she's in because that's why we're buying a Psylocke. That's why Psylocke's here, to focus the totality of her psychic abilities.
She's also like, where is Jubilee?
Yeah.
Because Jubilee's not on the page, so we have to be wondering.
Wondering where Jubilee is.
Well, she's being attacked. She
she's
really
attacked by Ghost
She
Rider.
really shouldn't have been standing up front.
Yeah. There's actually also a running gag in this story where Jubilee is rescued by someone effectively, and they do a cool physical move to attack the assailant, and Jubilee says, I was just about to do that. And then her rescuer says, I'm certain.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Yeah.
Well, if you were going to do it, why didn't you do it already?
Exactly. And then someone does that to Jubilee, and Jubilee says, I'm certain. It's just a little running gag, or at least that's the attempt. But Ghost Rider is being transformed into a Brood and sent off to attack Jubilee. Meanwhile, everyone else is, fighting. And they're all fighting in, the catacombs of this ancient church. And so what happens is what happens when you fight a bunch of Foot Clan at the top floor of your apartment building with a bunch of axes. Structurally speaking, the building can't handle it.
And they all die?
No, everyone's fine. Because as you can see, they're shredded. So the floor gives way, everyone falls, and they're all separated.
Don't you remember this issue where all the X-Men died?
Because they fell that's really far. Look at how much they're tumbling.
Yeah.
By the way, I love that Beast's reason for saving her because he's doing a little like
little
bit of business is that like Jubilee isn't covered under their medical insurance.
Yeah, she's not technically an X-Man, so she doesn't get full coverage.
So he's like, she'll sue us and we'll lose the house.
That's the jokes.
I was like, wait, is she really not covered by their medical insurance?
I assume
so
she
why
absolutely
is she here?
is. And
No,
also,
she's still in the first 90-day training period.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, no, she was in the trainee health insurance program, but we bumped her up to X-Men, and so it hasn't rolled over yet.
Well, yeah, that'll roll over in the new year.
Exactly. So Gambit lands with Belladonna, and he's kind of like out of it, and Belladonna's like, "Oh no, you can't be dead because I've got to be the one to kill you. I love you so much." And he's like, "Haha, I'm here." And then she punches him in the face, and she's like, "Damn it, you abandoned me!" And and she have this little back and forth where he's like, I had to leave to protect you. And she's like, I love you. And he's like, I'm sorry, blah. And so they hug and kiss. And she's like,
First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me.
Yeah.
Make up your mind.
Exactly. And so he apologizes for having left, even though he had to in order to protect them.
Right.
Beast awakens from his fall, and he bumps into Wolverine, and Wolverine starts growling. And Beast thinks that Wolverine's going to attack him because of Wolverine's Berserker Rage, you see. But it turns out that Wolverine is actually attacking Ghost Rider, who is behind Beast.
So Wolverine's just in the dark like...
And Beast is like, jeez. What is it, a day and then ends in Y? Wolverine's having a Berserker attack. So yeah, Wolverine fights Ghost Rider. He's like, he's dead. He's gone. There's nothing we can do about it. And Beast is like, I mean, he is a Ghost Rider. Like, maybe we could save him. And Wolverine's like,
he looks the most like a xenomorph. Like, he looks way less like a Brood and way more like Predator 2 is gonna come down and get him and put his head on the wall.
Well, yeah, that's what, Brood look like skeleton form.
Yeah, that's the skeletal structure of a Brood.
Skin outside. It's very different.
That's actually true, and we will see that. And that comes up. But no, it's just so we can get the excuse to draw a xenomorph, because that's what we always want to do. I mean, why did we invent the Brood if not to draw xenomorphs? So, while they're fighting Ghost Rider inside says, someone help me, and then gets back to being like, we're gonna kill you, and speaking crazy alien moon languages. And so, as a result of that one utterance of help, Beast is like, then there's a guy in there, we could save him. And Wolverine's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go out there and kill him. You wait here and come up with an excuse for how we cannot kill him and instead save him. Good luck.
Well, I'm gonna pulverize him into bone powder.
While that's happening, Cyclops is helping Psylocke out of a hole. And he says, give me your hand, Psylocke. And she says verbatim, my hand, Scott? Separated from the others, just you and I, and all I can interest you in is my hand.
So they just do it for the rest of the issue?
They might as well. He's like, well, we'll start with the hand. Then we'll move into some heavier stuff, but, I want to take it slow. So...
Oh, an old-fashioned.
And he says, we've got a job to do. And she says, my thoughts exactly. And I'm like, all right, Jim. So Jubilee wakes up. She landed on a Brood's head and killed it.
Okay.
And so as she makes her way towards the others...
Is that like a joke or something?
No, it's just like...
I gotta tell you...
She got one.
I gotta say, Jim's Brood are just not quite as strong as...
As the other guys.
Yeah.
As Wagner's.
Yeah, they look a little more like derpy.
Yeah.
Dinosaur-y.
I don't think... I mean, Jim's like...
It looks like they have lips.
Jim's like, I don't want to draw these friggin' things.
I want to show Cyclops and Psylocke banging.
Yeah, I want to draw... cartoon
Oh,
sex.
that's why he asked for her hand. Give me your hand, like in marriage.
In marriage. Ooh, is that a proposal? No.
Yeah, and we'll have our wedding night, baby.
Right here in this filthy basement. So Jubilee ends up finding the xenomorph egg cave. I mean, the room where the Brood keep humans that they're going to possess later in egg sacs.
How did they possess Ghost Rider then? She just looked at him, didn't she?
No, well, in between the pages, she inserted an egg into him.
Oh, she rammed her oversipository her down his throat and laid into eggs in her chest.
That's right.
Okay.
Jubilee's like, holy crap, there's some people in here, so all the assassins are not dead.
But some of them are.
Most of them are. And then Rogue's like, Jubilee! And Jubilee's like, ah! And so Rogue and Jubilee end up cracking open one of the eggs and finding a dude, and he's like, hey, I'm still alive! Ah! And it's like, oh my god, what's happening? He just trails off. And Rogue goes, what's the matter? And then Brood Ghost Rider goes, me. I'm the matter.
So then Rogue just punches his head off, right? Because she's Rogue.
And he's Ghost Rider, so his head is removable.
Yeah,
She
so
could rip him in half.
It's totally fine.
They grapple. They actually end up fighting through a wall that ends up where Cyclops and company are. And so then Cyclops hits him with his optic blasts. Psylocke saves Jubilee. They grapple for a while.
Psyche was trying to aim for Rogue so that she wouldn't see the two of them.
While Cyclops is grappling with Ghost Rider, Psylocke focuses the totality of her psychic abilities into a psi knife and blasts it into Ghost Rider's head, thereby revealing that Ghost Rider is possessed by a brood. We could see that psychically.
I thought you were going to say she focused her psychic totality into kicking him or kicking somebody in the face, because that's what I saw first.
She does kick a brood in the face with the focused totality of her heel. But in this case, we see like the inner turmoil of Ghost Rider and how like he's possessed by a brood, and that's depicted via a brood biting Ghost Rider in the shoulder. We also see that like his desires for why he's even here in the first place is Blaze. Like he wanted to get to Blaze.
You can do that with a psi knife to the head?
All kinds of things. Yeah, that psi knife is it's like a multi-tool. So while that's happening,
It's like a spike on RoboCop's wrist, like, oh, I can read data terminals.
Yeah.
Oh man, taste my psionic blade.
That's right. So Belladonna jumps in, and she's like, I'm here too, and I'm going to help you, Psylocke. And she's like, whoa, Belladonna seems to have many powers.
I love how going, I'm going in. Because she senses Danny in there too?
Yeah,
Yeah, so she's like, I'm gonna go, I'll figure this out.
that's right. And so they do. And so Belladonna distracts the spirit of the brood that is holding Danny, and thereby facilitating the possession. And
Okay, wait. Danny's not there though.
but he is, because Howard Mackie didn't write this issue. So,
Thank you. Yes, that was my point.
oh, you're totally right.
The hell are they possessing?
It should be Noble Kale.
Yeah. Nope, it's Danny. So the brood has possession of Danny Ketch's soul within Ghost Rider, even though he shouldn't, because Ghost Rider should be, well, Danny Ketch's soul should be in another plane of existence.
Maybe they pulled it back.
It could be.
Maybe the Brood have many powers.
The brood have many abilities. Yeah, well, once you, I mean, look, you're fudging the numbers once the alien possessors start inhabiting the body and mind and soul of a demon or a magical being, because I don't even know if Danny is a demon at all, because we're not dealing with Zarathos or anything. But in any case, Danny is also possessed by the brood, and he's like, why bother? I'm already dead. And it's like, weren't you dying? But whatever, now you're dead. And so he's like, it doesn't matter. And so then Belladonna distracts the psychic entity of the brood. That brood stabs her in the heart, and just like in the Matrix, if you die there, you die for real. And so she's mortally wounded psychically. And that's long enough.
Well, that's fine. She should just lose use of her arm. I don't know. Charles Xavier, that happened to him too.
Actually, more recently than you think. Earlier in the X-Men saga, Charles's legs are re-crushed by the Shadow King. Not again! Not again! But psychically. And then they manifest in the real world. It's like, my legs! Anyway, so while Belladonna is distracting the brood by dying, Psylocke blasts the focused totality of her psychic ability through the form of a psi knife into Danny Ketch's spirit's head, thereby severing the connection between the brood and him, so that she can then...
How many heads can you stab with that psi knife?
Well, I mean, she's only really stabbing one. Ghost Riders. But psychically, at least two, if not three. So while that happens, Belladonna gets her second wind and obliterates the spirit of the brood in the psychic plane, thereby killing the brood in the real world and reverting Ghost Rider back to Ghost Rider.
So now she just has to do that for all of her assassin friends.
Yes, unfortunately, Belladonna has been mortally wounded as a result of this, and so we have a tearful farewell, where she starts to die, and Gambit's like, oh no! And so he holds her, and Belladonna asks him,
Don't ever marry again.
basically,
Not her.
Not her. She's too southern. So,
Her shorts are too tiny.
how do you know that? Because I have the psychic...
I was at the lake.
Oh, that's right, she saw.
I came to the picnic.
She did come to the berry. So Belladonna tearfully dies in Gambit's arms, and when she dies, she asks him, and Gambit finishes her sentence, she asks if their marriage wasn't arranged, would he have chosen her anyway? And Gambit says, none other. In front of Rogue. And both Rogue and Jubilee cry, and Jubilee says, bogus.
It's so tiny too.
Yeah.
It's like they were a little ashamed of doing it, but they're like,
And they're like, we have to have her say something. And it would be bogus, wouldn't it? So Belladonna dies, clearly because you can see her power just blast out of her eyes because it's another power she has. And then,
oh no, that's just the psychic knife again.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just jamming.
So it's like, oh, sorry.
Once you activate it, it's hard to turn it off, and it's like, I can't activate it again for 7 hours or whatever.
I might as well get all the stabbing in I can.
Exactly. But no, as it turns out, the retcon of this is, thanks to Howard Mackey actually, that she just goes into a Kryptonian healing coma, and when she awakens, she forgets her marriage to Gambit, and she's more like a child, and then eventually she gets her memories back, and she is fine. In fact, she appears in Mr. and Mrs. X.
Mm-hmm.
So she ain't
crashes
dead.
the wedding. No. But in this book, we're supposed to believe she is, and for all intents and purposes, she is, because she was just introduced in like the first issue.
Yeah, just like Danny Ketch is dead.
Yeah, or not. So then the assassins take her away, and the X-Men and Ghost Rider all pose for a picture nobody takes, promising to get revenge for Belladonna. So
the assassins being all 3 of them?
yeah, like the ones they pulled out of the eggs. You know, the pre-eggs, not the brood eggs that were injected into them. These are different. Like these are egg-like, more like sacs.
Isn't this basically over?
It should be, but they need to get revenge for Belladonna and all the assassins.
Excuse me, don't you mean vengeance?
Damn right.
They might be some spirits of vengeance here.
Yeah. So then the X-Men, they go further into the catacombs because, oh, I'm sorry, there's also higher stakes involved because the Brood Queen revealed that...
I will take over all of New Orleans.
No, it's not even that.
I'm gonna ruin Mardi Gras.
Well, I mean...
No!
Wolverine's like, Berserker Rage.
Not on my watch. No, the Brood Queen reveals that she stole all of the assassins' children, and she's going to eat/possess them next.
Like
so,
the Pied freaking Piper?
So there's a bunch of children walled just like the xenomorphs when they put them into the walls.
What are you talking about? That looks nothing
like aliens at all.
Alien or aliens at all.
Nothing actionable about this.
No way.
So they're like, we gotta go get the children out of here, which allows us to take the 3 most popular people in the room and have them go fight the Brood Queen. So
it's Wolverine, Ghost Rider,
and Gambit.
Well, yeah. I was like, well, it's not Cyclops, because he's going to be like, where's Betsy going?
Wherever Betsy's going. So they go split off, the team that goes and gets the children, they deal with that. There's also a moment where somebody says, hey, Ghost Rider, where's your bike? And Ghost Rider goes, it'll be here. Some women stole it.
They pushed me over and they took it.
No, he's like, it'll be here when I need it.
I don't need it right now.
I don't need it right now, and also it's kind of tight in here.
Yeah, I don't have to touch the gas cap yet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's real bad for me.
So Ghost Rider goes off, and Gambit's like, I'm not going to let you get vengeance before I get vengeance. It's Vengeance City here. So then the 2 of them go off.
But I'm the spirit of vengeance. You're just like the wannabe spirit
want
of
vengeance. That's horseshit. So Wolverine's he sees they're leaving. He's like, oh, no, you don't. I'm more popular than both of you combined. So then he goes.
And Cyclops is like, and Beast, you should join them.
He's like,
leave
what?
me with the ladies.
So
Rogue's like, no, not you. Not ever. Admittedly, this is a pretty cool tree. I'm okay with this.
oh, yeah, no, this is a book I'd read.
I'd hang out with these guys.
So while 50% of the new Fantastic Four go to fight the Brood Queen, Ghost Rider just kind of wanders off in his mind, and we see
He's just walking.
he's just like, yeah. And Danny Ketch is
Having thoughts.
plummeting through an ocean of madness brought upon by teaming up with the X-Men and dealing with the Brood. And he's like, it's all falling apart. What am I going to do? I guess I'm dead. Let me go back towards that light or whatever that I was dealing with. So
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he's dying, so he was hanging around, and then the Brood Queen, whatever, then totality. I don't know. Maybe, okay, we'll make it all work.
Yeah, so when Danny goes off into the light, Ghost Rider kind of has a moment, and Wolverine's like, hey, look, get it together, New GR. We need you to be cool. So all right, let's do it. Also, they get surrounded by xenomorphs. While that's happening...
You mean Brood.
Oh, right, jeez.
Oh, yes, of course.
Pardon me.
How did I slip that up?
I don't know. So while that's happening, Blaze is part of a traveling circus. That is to say, Johnny Blaze.
He's just Blaze. John Blaze.
John Blaze, yeah, excuse me.
It's knocks the wad off. He's like, I'm John Blaze now.
That's right.
But I've got this shotgun.
I mean, honestly, truth be told, yes. Because here's the thing. Here's a hot take.
Uh-oh.
I never liked Ghost Rider until Danny Ketch. I couldn't care less about Ghost Rider.
That's totally
and here's
fair.
one. In 1993, There's a really cool Ghost Rider going on right now. His name's Spawn.
That's not Ghost Rider.
Isn't he?
How dare you?
A character that sells his soul to the devil and gets to come back to Earth, and he looks way cooler than he ever had any right to be.
And has a lot of chains.
And has a lot of chains. Sounds like Ghost Rider to me.
But he doesn't have a pen and stare.
He could if he wanted to. Spawn can do literally anything.
He has a motorcycle in the movie.
That's true. He does have a motorcycle in the movie. Oh my God.
John Blaze was just in New York. There were some issues ago.
He and his traveling carnival are on their way to New Orleans.
Right, no, they're leaving
they're
New Orleans and they're going back to Rhode Island. Do they just go up and down the eastern seaboard?
Yeah, it's a hell of a carnival.
The trouble is that he made one stop. He should have made trips all along the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Blaze is like, I'm riding along with the circus or
The
carnival.
Quentin Carnival.
The Quentin Carnival on my dope motorcycle. And Clara, this clandestine, mysterious woman.
With a hat and a scarf thingy around her.
Yes.
I love it.
Who has visions.
Yeah.
She's like, I've had a vision that Ghost Rider needs you and your awesome shotgun in New Orleans. Get out of here. And he's like, all right, tell everybody that I will see them in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay, so no, they're outside of New Orleans. Okay, yeah.
But you need to go back there, and you need to help out your friend. He needs you and your rad shotgun.
He probably could have used you a couple hours ago, too.
Yeah,
but,
like when he wasn't a brood.
And John's like, oh, hey, I know you're going back to Rhode Island. Listen, when you get up there, let's try to book some places elsewhere, because we're just going up and down.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do Rhode Island while we were up there before?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Now, how come we didn't hit Georgia and North Carolina and South Carolina and Virginia? We could have had, like, tons of shows.
Yeah, I thought you were doing the Howard Dean thing. I really thought you were going like, and we're not just going to stop in New Orleans. We're going to Washington and Idaho and North Dakota and Oregon. And then we're going to go to Rhode Island and have another awesome carnival. Ah! So the cool bunch, they're enveloped by brood. And they're like, let's do this. And then the effing assassin character shows up and he's like, I'm working with the brood, but I won't be after this story's over.
Oh yeah, that guy.
What? Why is he still alive? What are you? Are you an alien? Are you a demon? Are you just a guy in a weird, like, crazy magical mask? What's going on? He's like, haha, I'm working for the Brood Queen, and I'm gonna make
Why
you
isn't he a
broodlings."
brood?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe he is one.
Right, I think they don't know what he is yet. I think they introduced him in the story, and they weren't sure, and he was so cool and rad they didn't kill him at the end.
Well,
Because-
your sister's dead, man.
Yeah, now it's much worse. You should be even more mad.
Man, I love when villains do this. Where the Brood Queen here is like, you slaughtered my children. I'm gonna have vengeance for that. I'm like,
you're the
Oh,
monster.
sure, you're gonna have vengeance?
Yeah, everybody gets
Ghost
vengeance.
Rider's gonna have something to say about that.
Literally, like, she shows up, she's like, blah, the bike gets called because that's serious business. And then Wolverine goes, screw this guy, he just stabs the assassin in the chest with his adamantium claws.
nice.
And he runs away. And then Gambit.
Well, he isn't a Ghost Rider book. He has his right.
That's true. But Gambit, the character who should want this assassin guy the most, says let him go.
Well, admittedly, Gambit is in a situation where he's surrounded by Wolverine and his potential Berserker Rage, and Ghost Rider.
And whatever the hell he's doing.
Whatever he's got going on. So Gambit has, I think it probably has a moment where he's like, I am the most level-headed person in the room
It's
right
true.
now.
Oh no, I'm the adult.
I have to make adult decisions.
Everyone on this couch understands what it's like to be in that position. Where we go, oh no, I'm the adult today. We're in trouble.
I kind of figured he was just being like, no, he has to live. Otherwise, the Thieves Guild outnumbers the Assassin's Guild too much.
Yeah.
And it's not fair.
I think it's because Howard Mackey realized, oh crap, I want to use that guy in another story.
No, Wolverine, because Gambit clearly sees her.
Yeah.
And so I think he's like,
No, don't worry about him.
we have to
deal
focus
with-
on this.
Yeah.
Also, like, I already killed him once, and it brought a lot of trouble.
But he
I don't wanna
doesn't
kill him
know
a
that.
second
Yeah.
time.
So the Brood Queen, I love it because
Wait, he doesn't know that's her brother?
No,
No, it's just-
nobody knows. We
nobody
know
kno-
because I told you.
Nobody knows who he is.
No,
He's just some
I don't think Howard
thing.
Mackey knows who the hell he is.
Okay, good to know.
So the Brood Queen's like, I'm gonna kill the children first, haha, and she jumps over them and skitters down the corridor to chase after the X-Men with the children. And I'm like, this, out of everything that we see in this book, this is the grossest, most scary thing I've ever seen. Is a giant Brood Queen behaving like a cockroach. I don't like it. I don't like it a lot. Just, no.
Skittering.
I don't like it at all.
That's Sal draws the line here.
So then she's like, haha, mammals, I'm gonna eat you. This is the other team, X-Men Blue or whatever, because there's more blue characters here. And so they're like, uh-oh, and then Ghost Rider just wraps a chain around the Brood Queen and drags her ass out of the building, blasts through the wall, and just drags her out. And she's like, "Oh, you fool! You think just because I'm outside that'll give you an advantage?"
And the X-Men are like, if he could have done that.
Why did he do it at any point?
No, I don't need the bike. Oh crap, I need the bike.
Oh yeah. So he drags her outside and she's like, "Oh, you liked being a brood, didn't you? Yeah, you want to be a brood so bad again. I'm gonna make you a brood."
Is this like her?
Her like, "Join me."
I was gonna say
"What?"
like her, like she's like, you know, hey, she's flirting.
Yeah, I mean, kinda.
Yeah,
So-
and Ghost Rider's like, yes, brood me, mommy.
Yeah. Oh. So then Ghost Rider grabs one of her appendages, stabs her in the mouth, and then skins her. In one big move, because the important thing is to get her in one peel like this. He just
Yeah, that way it's very impressive.
Well, that way he can make a burrito out of it or something later.
exactly. He peels her, and then all the X-Men just walk upstairs and like, "Whoa, nice." And then the Brood Queen gets up and she goes, "Like you, Ghost Rider, I don't need skin to do what I do."
I feel like you do.
And she's just like, "Ah!" And so
Yeah, she doesn't have any organs. What the crap?
I know. So Ghost Rider is like punching the Brood when John Blaze rolls up.
Maybe when she compelled him, some part of him imprinted onto her.
Hey!
Hey.
So
Love it.
Blaze shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And Ghost
And
Rider's
Wolverine's like, whoa, what a cool guy. Holy
"That
crap.
guy's almost cooler than me." I bet Sal in 1993 thinks he's cooler than Ghost Rider. So Ghost Rider goes over to Blaze and he's like, "Hey." Blaze's like, "What's up?" And Ghost Rider goes, "Danny's dying." And Blaze's like, "What?" And then the Brood Queen's like, "Excuse me,
We were having a fight?
we're doing a thing." Ghost Rider wraps his chains around her throat again, and then goes, "Use your shotgun, use the Hellfire." And so Blaze's like, "Yeah, I know, it's the one thing I do." And so he shoots.
Why do you think I'm here?
Yeah, so he blows the Brood Queen's head off with the shotgun. And then Wolverine stabs the Brood Queen in the eye and fastball specials it into the air, where Gambit throws a bunch of charged cards at the head and blow it up, just in case. And then everyone stands around and shakes hands and leaves, and that cool character for the Assassin's Guild is like, "Oh, Remy, I'll appear in your miniseries. Mark my words on that one," and the story ends. And it's so funny how many books we do on this show where it just stops.
There, the story's over.
And the book's like,
Really? That doesn't seem like there was much of a resolution.
no. Although Wolverine does go, "Hey, Ghost Rider, let's team up again sometime." People seem to like that.
And they will.
At any point
There's
in
a few issues later where he and Beast show back up in a Ghost Rider version.
Nice. And we do get a Hearts of Darkness too.
Yes.
At any point in this story, does Wolverine light his cigar off Ghost Rider's head?
No. I know.
What a
Wasted
missed
opportunity. It's such a wasted opportunity, they must have done it on purpose. Because how do you not? I mean, you have to draw that. You have to draw Wolverine getting a cigar. He smokes multiple cigars. There are a lot of smokers in this book. Or at least during this time. The ban hasn't been instated yet.
Right.
Gambit smokes and Wolverine smokes. The coolest ones. Ghost Rider is always smoking.
Johnny Blaze was smoking.
Yeah. But there it is. Brood Trouble in the Big Easy.
It's kind of fun.
It's kind of there. That belongs on the cover of the reprint edition of the series. And when you do reprint it, put the whole damn thing in there. Because if I gotta put up with Danny Ketch's soul, then I should also get more Rogue and Daisy Dukes.
Excuse me, put up with Danny Ketch's soul?
Yeah.
Leave him alone. Leave Danny Ketch alone.
Well, I will, much like all of Marvel editorial will for the next 25 years.
Poor Danny.
There are a few books where you get Ghost Rider solving a problem by skinning his foe. And admittedly,
It should be something he does more often.
I agree. That's what I'm getting at. Should happen a lot more.
Oh, God. He skins her from the mouth up.
Yeah.
Like, he grabs its lips and just whoosh right off.
Like a banana.
Like a brute nana.
Give in to the feeling, demon. Let me take you again.
Oh, this book is very sexually charged, I gotta say.
Gross.
You know the book has to be especially gross to make Ben go, ew.
The Hellfire. It's my one power. I know what I'm doing. Boom, boom, boom.
I have one power.
And I'm gonna do it.
It's
called
focusing
shotgun.
the totality of Hellfire into my shotgun.
Yeah.
Blam.
Don't misplace it. So there you have it. Brewed Trouble in the Big Easy.
Yeah, that's
X-Men
like
Ghost
that
Rider.
happened. You know what though? Like I'm not even mad about this because it's like
Well, it's everything that you want. From
I
those
can't
two
be
books.
when I was the person who was able to provide both Ghost Rider issues. I can't be mad about this because that is what you come to expect when you read Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. So I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, Danny fails.
Yeah.
And then John Blaze shows up and pulls his ass out of the fire.
Yeah, except he didn't fail in this, but he still had to do it.
Yeah, actually, this might be the most. Is this as a Danny Ketch Ghost Rider fanatic?
He has his moments.
Is
I'm
this
not
his-
a fanatic.
Is this his most effective?
I am not a fanatic.
As
I,
the sole member of the Ghost Rider fan club.
the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider fan
I
club.
am not. No, he has his moments.
Are they as awesome as
But
pulling
this is the
broods?
most effective he's ever been,
This
isn't
is
it?
pretty impressive.
Like he sets out to do something.
But he skins a brood, but then they have to undercut it because they need John to show up. So that's always the
Yeah.
problem is like he always has to be undercut. But
Yeah.
like it is pretty awesome, and he does have his moments like that. Now, admittedly, they're not like when he gets knocked over in
And pushed in garbage, yeah.
Yeah, there's something enjoyable about Ghost Rider.
Yeah. He's a dope tattoo.
Yeah, and he's like kind of dopey, and like I don't
I
know.
think he puts on the veneer of awesome until you actually get into it. The true Ghost Rider fans know how lame he is.
Look at
Yeah,
this.
but
Look
they
at
love
this
him for
one.
And they love it.
Man, Danny gets the crap. He didn't crap kick out of
I love it's a
everybody.
seminal issue. It's like what a beautiful like.
It's an incredible cover. Like this cover's so freaking amazing, and it glows really, really well. But like Danny gets the crap kicked out of him. Those girls, he falls in garbage. Girls steal his motorcycle.
Now, to
John,
be fair, those girls are like freaking ass kickers.
no, they are,
Yeah.
but they still steal his motorcycle. Johnny Blaze shows up and shoots him. Like he's just like he's just getting
What
it
a-
from all
what a
angles.
day. Yeah.
Could I go home now?
You have no home.
Oh.
Today is a bad day for vengeance.
We'll see you guys next week with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks a lot for watching and keep reading.
But when you get it digitally, you can then zoom in on that nice Daisy Duke.
Oh yes, or that Psylocke swimsuit. My God.
Ridiculous.
Or Ghost Rider.
Or Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Or Brood Mommy.
Or Ghost Rider when he becomes a brood, who I guess becomes Brood Daddy.
Oh yeah.
No, Brood Baby.
No, he's gotta be Daddy.
Yeah, he's the daddy.
He's too. He's your daddy.
Yeah, who's your daddy?
All right.
Brood Danny?
Brood Danny. There we go.
Oh.